Good morning, my dear students. This is Neeraj Kumar, your English teacher. Today as well, I am here to continue the chapter The Happy Prince. I hope you will be listening to me very carefully. So, here I start. He passed over the river and saw the lanterns hanging on the masts of the ship. At last, he came to the poor woman's house and looked in. So, as he started moving towards that house of the lady, and he was actually passing over the river, and on the way, he saw the lanterns hanging on the masts of the ship, and finally, he reached the poor woman's house and looked in. The boy was tossing feverishly on his bed, and the mother had fallen asleep. She was so tired. He hopped and laid the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble. As soon as the bird reaches there, and what does he see there? That seamstress was in profound sleep, and the boy was lying on the bed and tossing because of fever on his bed. The lady was too much tired because of work. That bird, by hopping, in the sense of, by flying, just entered the room of the lady and just kept the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble. Then he flew gently around the bed, fanning the boy's forehead with his wings. As the birds saw the boy in trouble, and the boy was sweating because of fever, so the bird started fanning, just taking rounds around the boy, and consequently the boy felt very nice. How cool I feel, said the boy. I must be getting better. And he sank into a delicious slumber. As the bird started, fanning and taking rounds around the bed of the boy, and consequently, the boy felt better, felt cool, and consequently, he sank into the delicious slumber. That means he slept. Now let us move ahead. Then the swallow flew back to the happy prince and told him what he had done. Finally, means after the completion of the work, he directly reaches the happy prince back and narrates each and everything, whatever happened there, whatever he did. It is curious, he remarked, but I feel quite warm now, although it is cold. After reaching the happy prince, the bird said that although it is very much cold outside, still I feel warm. This is because you have done a good action, said the prince. And the little swallow began to think, then fell asleep. Thinking always made him sleepy. So there was a reply from prince. He said that because you have done a very good job, you have done a very pious job, you favored somebody. So after hearing so, the bird started thinking of that, And whenever bird thought of like this, he always felt sleepy. Let us move ahead. When day broke, he flew down to the river and had a bath. When the day rose, means जब दिन निकल गया था, the bird flew down to the river. That means he reaches the river to take bath, and he had bath there. Tonight I go to Egypt, said the swallow, and he murmured that certainly he would be reaching Egypt tonight. And he was in high spirits at this prospect. Means thinking of this, he was becoming so delighted that he would be reaching Egypt. He visited all the monuments and sat long time on the top of the church steeple. He kept on visiting here and there and visited all the monuments that were in that city, and finally sat for a long time on the top of the church steeple. Steeple in the sense roof. Now let us move ahead, my dear students. I repeat this line. He visited all the monuments and sat a long time on the top of the church steeple. Means after taking bath, he felt fresh and started visiting place to place, and finally sat down on the roof of the church. I hope you must be understanding. Let us move ahead. When the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince. When it was night time and the moon rose, he again went back to the happy prince. Have you any commissions for Egypt? He cried. He very politely said to the prince that, is there any work to be done in Egypt by me? I am just starting. I am planning to reach there. This was said by the bird. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, will you stay with me one night longer? Again, the happy prince requested the swallow, that means bird, that will you please stay one night more with me as I need you? I am waited for in Egypt, answered the swallow. So there was a reply from the bird that he is actually being waited by his some of friends, and they have been longing for the bird. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, far away across the city I see a young man in a garret. He is leaning over a desk covered with papers, and in the glass by his side there is a bunch of withered violets. Swallow, swallow, my dear little swallow, there was a request from prince side to the bird. That means I can see from here far away across the city. Means I can see a person sitting on the bench and working on the desk. There had been some papers, right, lying across the desk, and there has been a glass in that some withered violets, means a bunch of withered violets there. His hair is brown and crisp. His lips are red as a pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. Means the happy prince is describing the person who is actually sitting on the bench and working on the desk, right? lips are red, and hair is brown, and he has got dreamy eyes. And anyhow, he has got to finish a play for the director of the theater, but he is too cold to write anymore. The happy prince is saying to the bird he is feeling cold, and because of that he is not able to continue the work, as he has got to finish a play, as he has got to finish some dialogues to the director of the theater. There is no fire in the grate, and hunger has made him faint, as it is cold too much there, and he hasn't got any facility that he could feel warm there. He did not have any facility of fire there in his home, and even the hunger has made him so weak. So, my dear students, that's enough for the day. I hope you must have understood it. Thank you very much.